in there too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
The good news is I've got the hit guy.
No, this way. Behind?
Right?
Is that your bike, Dan?
No.
Okay.
But it's a nice touch. We're here to celebrate everything Milwaukee, so it's only appropriate we got a Harley here.
Yeah, right.
Is it on? Okay. Are we ready? All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Dan Bukevich, and I have the privilege of being the president of the Milwaukee Building and Construction Trades Council. Thank you for all coming out today. We have something very special today. North American Building Trades has chosen Milwaukee to visit. They are an organization that oversees all union construction trades in the United States and Canada. Milwaukee is only one of 5 cities on their roadshow. So we're very fortunate to have them. We have some speakers here. And today's theme is to really celebrate the trajectory of Milwaukee as a city, and it's directly related to the building directly behind me, the Couture, and the people that made it happen. So you're going to hear from all the key stakeholders that helped this development become a reality. So we're going to kick it off with the man who had the vision for it in the first place, Mr. Rick Barrett of Barrett Lowe Visionary. Come on up, Rick.
Thank you. Is this thing actually working?
I guess so.
Good morning. Today's a great day at the Couture. I'm Rick Barrett, developer of the Couture. I'd like to welcome the City of Milwaukee Mayor, Cavalier Johnson, and our friends from the AFL-CIO Housing Investment Trust. Also joining us today are folks who came all the way from Washington, D.C. to visit. Welcome to North American Building Trades Union team. At Barrett Lowe Visionary Development, my team and I had the pleasure of being involved in a handful of game-changing projects throughout the region. But as a Milwaukee guy, the crown jewel for me is the Couture. It is my honor to bring our national and federal and local partners to the construction site today to see the incredible progress we've made since breaking ground in summer of 2021. As a 100% union project, the Couture is a huge win for the Milwaukee labor force, providing thousands of construction jobs, 1 million man hours, and hundreds of long-term jobs for the people of Milwaukee for generations to come. The HITS Fund investment in the Couture translates into high-quality union jobs on a project that is truly setting the stage for the future of Milwaukee. This project has and will continue to create tremendous opportunities for job creation, workforce development, including over 2,000 construction-related jobs and 150 permanent jobs. As we have proudly shared before, we are focused on providing much-needed jobs and skill development in our underserved communities and are committed to hiring 25% disadvantaged business entities, DBEs, and 40% Milwaukee County residents. Such a win for union workers would not be possible without the investment we receive from these federal and national entities that are here today. The investment in the Couture represents the largest FHA loan that HUD has ever executed in the state of Wisconsin, and is the largest loan within HUD's Midwest region since the year 2000. The AFL-CIO Housing Investment Trust is a key player in the financing of this remarkable project by investing $104.5 million in this associated HUD loan. This is the HIT Fund's largest ever HUD investment, and it's the most significant investment to date in the state of Wisconsin. I am proud to give you an update on the great progress we've seen behind me at the Couture. Crews continue to build 1 floor per week. The core has been poured up to level 33. The decks have been poured up to level 30. Precast panels have been installed up to 21. The glass is at level 16. Drywall, level 8. In-wall plumbing, level 10. The first residents are anticipated to move into the Couture by April of 2024, with model apartments expected to be completed and available for showings yet this fall. None of this progress would be possible without the hundreds of union guys and gals working hard on this site. You know, I've been coined a union developer, something I'm very proud of. The projects my team and I develop strive to be top of the line. We create a vision and set incredibly high expectations for our projects. These are risky jobs. High-rise construction is no joke. It is difficult, it is dangerous. You will see that today. I never tried to achieve this level of construction, this complexity, without the union building trades. They are the top gun. They are the best of the best at what they do. And that's what I strive to do with my company as well. So I thank you for being here today. I'd like to introduce our mayor, Cavalier Johnson.
Thank you so much, Rick. Thank you for being a union developer at that and doing these tremendous programs here in the city of Milwaukee. You know, the Couture is much more than simply a construction site. The Couture represents the future of Milwaukee. The Couture represents where we're going in Milwaukee. So I want to thank our friends at North American Building Trades Union for visiting Milwaukee as they traverse across the country. I want to thank as well the Housing Investment Trust as well for making a substantial investment right here in Milwaukee. They understand, just like I do, that Milwaukee's trajectory is on the upward swing. And we've got a vision to grow this city, to grow the population in this city, and that does not happen. It does not happen without the men and the women in the building construction trades, the men and the women working in union jobs, especially in construction, that are gonna build the future here in Milwaukee. So as I said, you know, just the other day, it doesn't matter if it's taking lead service lines out of the ground or adding new peaks to our skyline like we're seeing with the Couture. Milwaukee is on the upward swing, and we are depending on men and women in the unions to make that happen. So I am extremely pleased to be here today at this site that, again, is much more than just a construction site. It represents the trajectory of Milwaukee, and it also represents hope. It represents hope for people who live in disadvantaged neighborhoods across Milwaukee who need an opportunity. Who need an opportunity for a family-supporting career, and that's exactly what's available to folks in the union construction trades right here in Milwaukee. We're going to continue to build this city. We're going to continue to build our future, and it's these men and women and the organizations that they work for that'll provide the opportunities for people all across Milwaukee, no matter what neighborhood you live in, to have access to a good family-supporting job that'll create stability in their lives, create stability in the lives of their family, create stability in their neighborhoods, which will create stability in our city, which in the end helps us to achieve the public safety that all of us want to see. All this stuff is connected, and the Couture is the embodiment of that. So thank you so much, Rick. Thank you so much to all of our partners again at the North American Builders Trades Union, our friends at the Housing Investment Trust as well, for your investment and support and belief in the city of Milwaukee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. Mayor Johnson talked about the connectivity of how this is going to impact lives, and that really is the business of the North American Building Trades. And here to follow up on that is the president of the North American Building Trades, Mr. Sean McGarvey.
Thank you. Thank you and good morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope that everybody's ears are open, because for me, what you hear behind you is a symphony. When you see the men and women that are building that building, it's some of the greatest music that could ever be played. and it's exciting. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Barrett. It's a pleasure to work with our local building trades partners here on the programs that help make these things a reality. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of money to actually make it happen. The Housing Investment Trust, just so you know, is a pension fund that our members invest in. People that are working on that job right now, earning a living that'll keep them in the middle class, have their own pension dollars invested in the project as part of the capital stack for Mr. Barrett. The second part that we combine with that is to work with the mayor, Congressman Gwen Moore over there, who've done tremendous work in DC to help get the kind of legislation passed that helps us to redevelop and create these work opportunities for folks, and through our apprenticeship readiness programs, take people from communities that haven't had a lot of opportunity sometimes in generations, communities of color, men and women, indigenous people, formerly incarcerated, and through our apprenticeship readiness programs, prepare them for registered apprenticeship, and then into apprenticeship, and then onward onto projects like this, where they'll hone their skills over 3 to 5 years and become skilled craftspeople, which will lift their family into the middle class. And we do this a person at a time and a community at a time, and that's what we're dedicated to. But without visionary developers like Mr. Barrett, without the support of people like the mayor and the congresswoman and the people behind me, none of this can happen. So I'm extremely proud of my brothers and sisters and the work they've done to make these kinds of things for years a reality here in Milwaukee, and we're replicating it all across the country. So thank you for being here this morning, and please listen to the music that's being played behind me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. You know, we picked this site specifically because it is a construction site, and I'm not going to apologize for the noise. That noise is the sound of men and women fulfilling their careers and building Milwaukee. That's the sound of progress. Speaking of progress, when it comes to this, we need a lot of partners going forward, both at the local level, state level, and more importantly at the federal level. This also has a federal project attached to it with streetcar going through it, the HOP. So, Gwen, would you like to come up? Or, no? Congresswoman Gwen Moore, you want to say a word or two? Okay. Okay, Gwen's gonna pass, but our partners in Gwen Moore and Tammy Baldwin are essential when it comes to some of the funds that are going on in Milwaukee here to help build it. We need that support at the federal level. And with the CHIPS Act coming out and everything going on, not just here but in southeastern Wisconsin, those two women have been pivotal in getting Milwaukee and Wisconsin on the map and getting desperately needed funding for infrastructure. So thank you to both of them. Now, this is great. We got plans, we got goals, we got everything set in motion. Rick has a vision. Now what we need is probably one of our top contractors to come through and make that a reality. And that's what we have in Findorf. Findorf is no stranger to these buildings. They built the Modern. They're doing this one. They're the best in the business. That's why Rick chose them. And we're fortunate today to have their CEO, Brian Horning, and he's going to say a few words for you. Brian?
Thanks, Dan. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Welcome to our many friends, Milwaukee leaders, government leaders, union stakeholders that are in attendance with us today. Keep my remarks brief, but on behalf of Findorf, I would like to share our deep gratitude to relationships with each and every one of you. To Rick, Tan, and the entire Barrett Lowe team, thank you for the trust in Findorf you placed in us with the Couture. It is with immense pride we feel the opportunity to add yet another iconic building to the Milwaukee skyline. But as important, it is a pride we feel in bringing it to life with 100% union labor. As a Wisconsin contractor founded in 1890, we see tremendous value in our union partnerships. And it's because of these partnerships that we have highly trained and skilled men and women that are able to put a complex project such as the Couture in place. You have been and will continue to be with us at every step of the way. As Rick said, we're on level 30 with the decks, level 33 with the core. Tomorrow we'll add another floor to that. We've put in place hundreds of thousands of labor hours with hundreds of thousands of labor hours to go. Over 38,000 yards of concrete have been poured to date at the Couture. We're extremely excited to be the builder of the Couture, not only for what it means to Wisconsin, but more importantly, what it means to the city of Milwaukee. So thank you for being with us today to celebrate, and we're looking forward to taking you on a tour. Dan?
So we've covered just about every aspect, but probably the most important one is the dollars. Nothing happens without dollars. And those dollars came from union pensions. And the people that handle those union pensions you've heard to as referred as HIT. That's the Housing Investment Trust. And with us today is Paul Summers from the Housing Investment Trust to say a few words about that. Paul?
Thanks, Dan. Thank you, Dan. As Dan said, I'm the regional director for the AFL-CIO Housing Investment Trust. I'm going to kind of defer to a lot of the things that were already said. This is an amazing project, and we are very, very excited to continue to be part of this development. You know, labor's had a long history of strengthening communities through jobs and housing, and HIT has been that tool for almost 40 years. During these economic uncertain times, the HIT and labor have responded. We currently have 38 projects under construction nationwide, 23 different cities, 12 different states, delivering over 6,300 units, 60% of those affordable, and $1.8 billion of our capital. And I'm very proud to tell you, as mentioned earlier, the largest project that the HIT is committed to right now in the nation is this project behind us, the Couture. This is not the first deal that we've done with this development team or Findorf. We worked with them as well as a critical part of the Park East Corridor development. We financed the Modern about 10 years ago. When we went to Rick and said, what's next? He gave us the Modern, the Couture to work on. The Modern itself, 203 units. The Couture, as mentioned, 322 units, 1.5 million unit construction hours that are going to be delivered here. So over 525 units have been delivered to the city of Milwaukee in the last 10 years through the partnership of not only labor, our capital, but also the working men and women of the building trades behind us. Again, I want to thank Rick for his unwavering commitment to get this project to the finish line. His commitment as well as partnership from the beginning, not only with the Housing Investment Trust, but also the building trades to do the project right. I want to thank Findorf for their continued partnership in delivering these projects. None of this would be possible without the support, not only financially, but also the quality of work displayed each and every day by the men and women of the North American building trades, as well as Milwaukee building trades behind me. I'm very blessed as Regional Director of the Midwest. We are often initiative driven. We currently have an initiative called the Midwest at Work. It started in 2016. It was $1 billion in 9 cities, and Milwaukee is one of those 9 cities. We have now re-upped for another $1 billion. We're excited to continue to find out the development that's going on here. HIT is ready to act. We want to do more, and we look forward to seeing you in another future HIT project that's going to utilize the men and women working within the North American building trades. Thanks for coming.
As you can see, this building provides a lot, and there's one other program that this building's providing that we didn't talk about. We hit it rather hard yesterday. Rick talked about the inclusions that go on here, 40% RPP, 25% minority participation. We have women set goals. When you get this amount of people here, inevitably they're going to have children and they're going to have daycare issues. And North American Building Trades recently has a 503c arm called Trades Future. Trades Future picked Milwaukee and the city of New York to be pilot programs for daycare supplements for men and women of the building trades. This building is attached to that program, and anybody working on it is in line for supplemental daycare if they choose or need it. So I want to thank North American Building Trades for being progressive and leading the industry, and to tell you the truth, all sectors of the economy in addressing this problem going forward. President Biden's addressing it, Governor Evers is addressing it, and I'm proud to say North American Building Trades was there right with them right from the beginning. So there will be a short tour of the Couture. Any of the speakers or anybody you see is available for interviews if you'd like to interview them. I want to thank members of the press for coming. Please be safe. The tour is set aside for the VIPs. Sorry. So anybody behind me, if you've had the opportunity to be in, we won't be taking the workers in. We are an active construction site, so safety does come first. Thank you very much.
Don't forget your hard hat. No. No. She's. Are we ready for a?